The universe finds a way to balance itself. A few weeks ago I had to express my grievances with Stellar Blade, so now it's only fair I do the same with a Microsoft exclusive game. But you see, the difference is that I still consider Stellar Blade a decent game. Average. Okay. Well, the same I can say about Hellblade 2, because this game sucks. Okay, bye. Alright, let's bring out the big guns and face the music. Come over here, Senua. Let's tango. Hellblade 2 starts off on a thunderous note. The visceral action of Senua gasping for air as waves try to trap her under a violent, stormy sea. The lighting contrasting against her incredibly detailed face that shows every facet of her emotions. The voices in her head overwhelming you from every direction with that sublime 3D audio, while the fog covers the sky, creating a daunting atmosphere. All that in service of this.
She carries them with her.
Someone listen, she needs you. She needs you to go to her quickly.
Already dead.
You're a liar.
The lost one.
Holy Christ, this is boring. And with that, I'm pretty sure some of you will already start writing a smarmy comment about how I have brain rot that prevents me from appreciating this game. But seriously, this is absolutely soul-crushing. Hellblade 2 is, for all intents and purposes, a walking simulator, but the definition of walking simulator has become quite confusing, more or less becoming just a buzzword to denigrate whatever game you don't like. I mean, come on, they called Death Stranding a walking simulator, they called God of War Ragnarok a walking simulator, they called The Last of Us a walking simulator, everything you don't like is a walking simulator. I don't know, in those games I'm pretty sure they did something more than just pushing the analog stick forward. The Stanley Parable is an actual walking simulator. Yet not only did I like it, but the game allowed for more interaction than Hellblade 2. Dude, can't you see? This is cinema! Look, they even letterboxed it! That's how you can tell this is like playing a movie. Well, congratulations, Hellblade 2. You can sit at the same table of the Evil Within. Although I doubt that the Evil Within would be very happy about it. Because that's what I really hate about Hellblade 2. It's a video game ashamed of being a video game. Oh, but you don't get it, RoboKnob. It's a different genre. You just don't get it. It's supposed to be judged differently. Well, I want to tell you, imaginary person uttering these words in my head, that I despise you. I despise you, not because of your personal taste. God forbid you're entitled to like this gameplay. Well, I should just call it play. Well, not even that, maybe I should call it G. No, I despise you because by saying that the gameplay is not important, you're devaluating the efforts of other walking sims that actually give a crap. It's the same thing as defending a bad animated movie because, oh, but kids' movies are for kids and we're adults. Adults have adult movies. Why can't you just watch an adult movie instead of watching a kid's movies and treating it like an adult movie, you kid? And that implicitly means that you're putting The Lion King on the same level of a random Illumination movie. Yeah, that's a good comparison. A couple of weeks ago we had a great walking sim, Indica. Now that's The Lion King. Hellblade 2 is the Minions. But before I go any further, let me make something extremely clear. I liked the first Hellblade. Not excessively, it didn't leave a lasting impact, but the gameplay was serviceable and the story was tightly written. And I bought this damn game. Me, RoboKnob, the guy who made a whole fake review for Alan Wake 2 just because I refused to purchase a digital-only game. I still bought this thing. I wanted for it to be good. No, great even. But the bigger budget for Hellblade 2 was entirely used on its presentation, and even that barely impressed me. Oh yeah, it's the most detailed game ever made, but the art direction is just forgettable. For the most part, it's just village, fields, cave, village, fields, cave, village, fields, cave.
Where is it taking her? If everything you have done has brought you here, to nothing, nowhere. Maybe your father was right. Maybe.
And a couple of environments that felt a lot more inspired can't hide the fact that all I'm seeing is a demo reel of all the high-resolution textures I can find on Quixel Megascan. It's a tech demo, so tell you what, if graphics is all you care, download Unreal Engine 5 for free, download the Valley of the Ancients tech demo, also for free, and there you have it! You got Hellblade 2, and you don't even have to go through the painful slog that connects one sword fight to the other. Alright, the combat. It's not too dissimilar from Hellblade 1, and it's also surprisingly responsive. But that responsiveness is honestly irrelevant when it's always so painfully easy, even on hard difficulty. We can all agree that there is a problem when all I can think of when I see a new enemy is how many times will I have to spam the light attack before I can kill him? 1, 2, 3, 4, we got him! Well, I'm glad that in 2024 we finally got a game that can match the melee combat from The Last of Us, without having all the other core gameplay of The Last of Us. Oh, stop, RoboKnob. The combat is not the focus of this game. I mean, there are multiple sections where you have to fight hordes of these bastards. Not that you should worry about that. They will engage you one at a time, in orderly fashion. Unlike what they did in The Last of Us. So, I'm sorry, but if the game makes me fight for 5 to 10 minutes straight, I have to guess that they want me to focus on the combat. Although by focus I guess the developers meant, oh my god, look at how cool these animations are! Yes, they are Ninja Theory, but it's also as engaging as spending a night playing clicker heroes. Can we move on? We have puzzles. Puzzles? Puzzles. Okay, so Hellblade 1's puzzles almost entirely relied on perspective, finding hidden symbols in the environment, which represented Senua's psychosis. Nothing on the level of Superliminal, but they were fine. Hellblade 2 keeps these puzzles, except this time they barely require any real attention to detail. They're incredibly easy to find, and the few times you do miss them, it's because there are so many cool particles and visual effects on screen that you can't see anything at all. At which point the voices in your head will just play hot or cold with you whenever you get close.
Above, on that platform, there.
But at least they are not a massive letdown compared to the other new puzzles. Not even joking, at some point one of the tests you have to take is grabbing balls from one pedestal and bringing them to another pedestal. At that point, the voices in your head will just start congratulating you, all Evangelion style.
Well done, Senua. She is strong enough. You will not die like the others before. You will survive this.
Congratulations!
Well, I've been scratching my balls 3 times while writing this script, but I don't hear any clapping coming in my direction. But fine, let's say you like low-stakes combat, let's say you like the walking sections, let's say you like the lackluster puzzles. Let's take the stance that this is an interactive movie, that this is more of a video than a game. It's a pretentious, vapid and unfocused movie whose flat cinematography is only matched by a level of carelessness in handling its characters that makes Independence Day a art house production by comparison. It's not that hard to prove it, just play this movie, and every other hour ask yourself, what is this movie about? I'm not asking, what's the story? I'm asking, what is it about? Hellblade 1 was very upfront about it. It was a story about love, loss, grief. It was the story of a mentally ill woman trying to save her lover's soul from the pits of hell. The hell with a single L. The other one is copyrighted by Christians. It's a story as old as time, 2000 years give or take, but the ending was very poignant, with Senua accepting the death of her beloved Dylan and then killing the darkness she harbored in her heart. What a good, short, well-written story it was. In Hellblade 2, Senua has tons of trauma. You think she had trauma in Hellblade 1? This is Hellblade 2. We're squaring that trauma. We've got trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. It's a Lars von Trier sandwich of trauma. But that's about it, because Hellblade 2 introduces themes and subplots that have the same lifespan of a mayfly with Alzheimer's. And then we are isekai'd into Attack on Titan. What? And whenever this movie tries to convey any meaning, it can only do it by being gross. And no, I'm not squeamish. I watched and enjoyed Martyrs twice. I think I have some problems. But Hellblade 2 doesn't understand that blood and gore are only as impactful as its meaning. The first act of the game is just a carnival of brutal murders of random people, and after a while I became so apathetic that at every new encounter I would just put a bet. Ooh, what's it gonna be this time? Impalement? Beheading? amputation? Ooh, almost got it, it was cannibalism. It takes about 4 hours before this game finally makes up its mind and picks one thing to carry to the end credits, and that's the burden of leadership. Now I have to ask, why Hellblade 2? Why does it exist? How did we go from a character whose psychosis acted as both an obstacle and an allegory of grief to a story that has nothing to do with it and treats said psychosis as a superpower?
I've seen you listening to the voices that we cannot hear. To the Varadir and Gandir.
Voices. How does he know about us?
You have the ability to see behind the veil.
What the hell are we doing, Ninja Theory? So I just realized that some of you will say that that's actually realistic, that's how people with mental illness were treated back in the past. And it's true, but there's a difference between being realistic in portraying this stuff and it's a completely different one showing through the story that yes, the mental illness is a superpower. Are we cool with that now? Cool, let's move on. I'm not even touching the ending, cause that's a whole other nonsensical can of worms. I just wanna know why you had to reuse Senua like this. Ironically, it's this guy, Thor Jr., that ends up becoming the most consistent character in the entire story, while Senua is just a nothing burger. The end result here is an interactive movie that, through incredible production value and amazing acting performances, achieves its desperate goal of becoming part of a completely different media. But instead of joining the ranks of the auteur scene with the likes of a Scorsese or a Bergman, it goes hand in hand with Ridley Scott, a big budget at hand and a satisfied smile on its face as it smells its own farts while looking back at its previous better work. So in conclusion, do you want to play a walking sim with simple but engaging puzzles, an interesting story, and a strong, memorable female lead? Buy Indica. Do you instead prefer to watch a dark movie with twisted imagery, breathtaking sceneries, and a Viking setting? Then watch The Northman, you goddamn son of a bitch.